Josh here with Southern Self-Reliance. It's really hot today. It's in the mid-90s, so I moved into the shade. Bad thing is there's mosquitoes everywhere. But I was out here next to my shave horse, and I thought I'd do a video about it and tell you a little bit about it and how you can make one and how they're used. So the shave horse is for shaving down green wood to make rounded things like chair legs, axe handles, table legs, things like that. It's usually used to do the rough work before you put it on a lathe, but you could easily use it to, refine as well. I mean, you could make decent stuff with just this. You don't have to have a lathe. So these came around in I believe the 1600s. You used to see them in farms across the country up until 1900s. But you just don't see them very much anymore. And I ran across these online a few years ago, and me and my wife built one, and I've used it a lot. It's come in handy several times. So basically what you would do with this is, say you have a piece of wood, say a limb or something you'd gotten from the woods or you cut from a tree, and you wanted to shave it down to make a handle or chair leg or something like that, like I was saying. Basically, first thing you do is, I have a stump here. You put it on this stump, and you have a hatchet or a tomahawk, and you want to just chop it down to, closer to the size you want it to be. What I do is I'll start at the bottom, make a nick, make a few nicks up the piece, and then one good whack and take all those off. Then you just get it down to the size you want. You'll have to flip it around to get the other end that you're holding on to. But just chop it down closer to the size you need it to be before you put it on the shave horse. Otherwise, you're going to be doing a lot of unnecessary work. So once you've got that chopped down close to where you want it, you'll bring it over here onto your shave horse. Now, the shave horse has it's like a foot-powered vise, I guess would be the best way to describe it. But it has this, the board underneath here is adjustable. What I've done is I just took a piece of leather and nailed it onto this end like a hinge. And then it'll rest on this block here, which is also adjustable. You can take it out, move it forward or move it back to adjust the height, or depending on how big of a piece you have. So there's a notch cut in here to hold the piece of wood. So stick it in here, push the pedals forward, and it clamps down onto your piece of wood. And you basically just put pressure down with your feet, and that piece of wood's not coming out. So then what you'll need is a draw knife. You can get these pretty reasonable at most antique stores. I got this one from Highway Pickers. If you're local, you know where that is, but it's an antique store. Or you can get them from places online like Lehman's or other places that sell hand tools. So you clamp that piece of wood down on there, and then you just start shaving your wood down. It's really just that simple. You're going to get shavings all over the place, which is good because you can use those for other things too. I try to use them for bedding for the chickens and things like that. Try not to waste anything, but basically that's it. You clamp it in there, you turn it as you need to, and then like I said, you'll need to flip it around to get your other side. But I can pretty quickly make a rough handle or a chair leg or a table leg out of this with the shave horse. But they're fairly simple to build. We built this one in a day, probably a couple hours. And the only thing I bought was the hardware. There's a bolt going through here. I drilled holes through the whole thing so these legs could swivel. Got some 2x4s that were laying around the house, nailed them together for the basic shape and the frame. But that's really all you need. You need a seat, some legs for it. You want to make sure the seat's long enough if you build one, so you have plenty of room. I had to make this one pretty long because I'm pretty tall. Better to make it longer than too short. But that's all you can put a hinge down there, use a piece of leather, something like I did. And you just need a block underneath to adjust the height. And like I said, there's this bolt with a wing nut, just to let it swivel. It's really that simple. It's really useful. And you definitely should, have things like this around the house if you're preparing for a grid down situation. Because like I say, you're still gonna need to make things. You're gonna need to build things. And if you have one of these and you're good at using it, that's also a skill that you could trade for other resources if you needed to. Not even that. I mean, not even just a total grid down scenario, but say, just the power's out for a while and you need to do some work. Hand tools and things like this are good to have around the house, and it's good for you to know how to use them. So you can get a lot of plans for these online, or you can just come up with your own design like we did. Like I say, they're simple to make, and they don't cost hardly anything. So I hope you enjoyed, and if you have any questions about the Shave Horse, just let me know. I'll be glad to answer them. Make sure you hit subscribe below and turn on those notifications so you know when we upload another video. More coming soon.